Ever since I was a kid, being on the basketball court was a place that I found happiness. I enjoyed basketball so much that I even played it into my adult years, and I was known as Leia, the basketball player. But even though it was a source of fun, and I got to represent my country, and I traveled to some pretty cool places all over the world, it was a fleeting sort of happiness. It wasn't until I realized that Jesus wanted to do everyday life with me that I discovered true happiness. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to be known as the basketball player, but being known as God's daughter has brought a joy that does not fade.
Of all the places we might search for happiness, did you ever think that Jesus might be where we'd find it? Many of us don't search for happiness in Jesus because we don't think we'll find it in him. We assume he's a killjoy, old-fashioned, irrelevant. But many of us make these assumptions without ever really exploring the Bible for ourselves.
When we look at the accounts of Jesus' life, we discover that he was actually full of life and joy and was almost constantly surrounded by people who were desperate to be with him.
We also see Jesus completely reverse what many would believe to be the most irreversible event of all, death. When Jesus got to the funeral of his friend Lazarus and was faced with people's grief and loss, he enters into their pain. But all those fears are turned into shouts of joy when he asked Lazarus, who had been dead for 4 days, to walk out of his tomb. Can you imagine the shock and celebration?
As incredible as this story is, the truth is that Lazarus was still ultimately going to die, but it was a glimpse of an even greater event to come. You see, Jesus wants to give a new, joy-filled life to those who follow him, kind of like a fresh start. And this was achieved through his death and resurrection. The Bible explains this by saying that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun.
And so the question is, could Jesus and the new life that he offers be worth investigating in your search for happiness?